Sync! Welcome back, you guys. That is only for my exit. I don't know why I did that. So last time we saw some new pig that was electrified. Ooh. It was really cool. If you're watching this episode and you haven't seen the last episode, go see it because it's freaking awesome. So we figured out that that is the guy that we've been chasing down the whole time, connected to this machine. So we're gonna go down here, I guess. It's the only place we can go. We can't really do anything for... Oh! Well, that was quite disturbing. Let's not see it ever again. Where do you lead?
Daddy.
Don't you fucking whisper in my ear.
Knee-deep in mud and bone, and filled my lungs with mustard gas. I have seen 2 brothers fall. I have lain with holy walls and copulated with the autumnal fallout. I have dug trenches for the refugees. I have murdered dissidents where the ground never thaws, and starved the masses into pain. A child's shadow burnt into the brickwork. A house of skulls in the jungle. The innocent Manders trod and bled and gassed and starved and beaten and murdered and enslaved. This is your coming century. They will eat the Manders. They will make pigs of you all, and they will bury their snouts into your ribs, and they will eat your hearts.
I'm sorry if I'm being quiet. This is really cool. Just gonna say. So I guess this is the temple. So I guess he really did sacrifice his kids. I was trying to look at that.
The snow for your children.
Oh. I have to push the frickin' button? Fine.
I lay there and watched the god I had created die. At the end, when we were cold as the stone we had hewn his body from, when the lights were nearly all extinguished, we heard, in the silent distance, the man-pigs singing to one another. Then, as the last lights were gone, and we lay together in the deep, they drifted away, and all was silent. Such a silence I had never known. And as the dust settled on my open eyes, and we lay together embraced forever, I heard, miles above us, the sounds of the city turning over in its sleep. A church bell ringing out, and in that moment, the new century was born.
Pretty darn awesome. So that is the end of A Machine for Pigs. Hopefully you can hear me over the music, because it sounds pretty loud. I'll have to turn it down or something. And this is who did make it for your pleasure and appreciation. Sweet. Alright. So, A Machine for Pigs. Was it a good game? Yes. Did it do everything right? No. Walking into this, I thought it would be scarier than the first Amnesia, but I don't know. They took out too many things in this one, and I was happy they took some things out, but I don't know. Not the sanity system being taken out. That was one of the big things in Amnesia and made it not penumbra. And then the lantern oil and tinder boxes and just like, if you don't have, it's like when you didn't have oil, you were running low on oil. It was this frantic, like, running to try and find oil somewhere, or else you'd run out and you'd be walking through the darkness. And this, your lantern was always on. You could have it on. I didn't understand the point of lowering your light unless there was a monster nearby. By the way, I don't recall very many times where I was actually hiding from any of the monsters. So they weren't as big as a threat as the first game. This game has a pretty good variety. There was a water monster, the grunt, a brute, and then the electric brute. The electric brutes are really, really cool. I like that idea. That was really, really good with the flickering lights and everything and how they would just sometimes show up. That was really good. But just taking out the oil and the sanity kind of made this game more of a penumbra than it was Amnesia. I would probably understand it a bit more if this was its own game instead of being an Amnesia game. And I don't know, it just wasn't as scary as the first game. I'm sorry, I'm reading that. The party that leans upon the workers, but serves as something in the period of the greatness, sharpening the class of struggle where you cannot smell wafted from the waiting grave. So yeah, pretty awesome game. The end. So I don't know if there were different endings to that either. But yeah, is Amnesia Machine for Pigs a good game? Yes, it's a very good game. Is it a very good horror game? If you're afraid of a lot of things, yes. Is it as scary as Amnesia, the Dark Descent? No. Is it as good as Amnesia, the Dark Descent? No, not really. Are the ideas implemented in this game pretty awesome? Yeah. They're pretty darn cool. I love all the steam steampunk stuff, the clockworks, everything in that is fantastic. This game is very artistic. In fact, even more artistic than Amnesia. But it just didn't grasp that horror enough. I wasn't afraid of the monsters. If they came up, it would have been just a bit startling, but it's not like they were blocking my path, besides, like, all of them. That was really stupid. But no, it's just the monsters weren't very scary. They showed you what they looked like. All those cages and stuff that had them in it, it showed you what they looked like. Whereas in Amnesia, The Dark Descent, you barely ever saw them. Or it was hard to see them because it was so dark. Dark Descent. Where in this game, like, the lantern, again, stays on all the time. So there's no real point to put it down, which takes suspense out of the game. Taking the inventory out was a good idea, because it brings the player into the game a bit more. Whereas Amnesia, you would have, or The Dark Descent, you would have to go into your inventory, keep mixing and matching items until you got the right combination of stuff. The voice acting in the story, pretty alright. The aim of the game, the momentum that kept the player going, having to save your children, I didn't like that as much as Amnesia The Dark Descent. Amnesia The Dark Descent, you had Amnesia, by the way. Amnesia isn't even in this game. You don't have Amnesia. That the driving force is that something is chasing you, the shadow, and you need to find and kill Alexander before the shadow reaches you. And in Amnesia The Dark Descent, they implement that. There's a part in it where you have to escape this cage cell. Spoilers if you haven't played Amnesia The Dark Descent. But you have to escape this cell. And if you don't do it in a certain amount of time, the shadow catches up to you and it actually kills you. In the end of the game, you can choose to be killed by the shadow if you wanted to. I mean, it's an alright thing. You can do that. That's what it's there for. But in this game, the driving force is to get your kids, to save your kids. I mean, if Oswald was that heartless of a guy, he could have just said, screw him, and walked out the front door. There was nothing forcing him to go on, just him being a good parent. Whereas Daniel, he didn't know what the shadow was, and all he knew was it was going to chase him and it was going to kill him, unless he got to the center of Brennenburg Castle and stopped Alexander. Which game would I rather play? Amnesia The Dark Descent or A Machine for Pigs? Probably The Dark Descent. Mainly because it has the sanity system and the oil. Those are my two biggest complaints about this game. Having unlimited oil for your lantern just isn't realistic. And it makes the game, it just breaks the game and makes it too easy. The sanity system was basically what made Amnesia not Penumbra again. This game felt more like Penumbra when it came to hiding from things. Heck, I think Penumbra is even scarier than this game. Although they did say this game wasn't supposed to be as horrifying as Amnesia, but it was way more artistic. The soundtrack is so awesome. I love the sound. From playing this game so far, I like the soundtrack more than Amnesia The Dark Descent. The ambiance is fantastic. The outside environments are beautiful. Just the huge, massive rooms that you go to sometimes, like near the end of the game, those were really, really cool. All the structures and everything in the game, it was just awesome. I loved it. So, again, Amnesia Machine for Pigs. It's a good game. It's a really good game. Is it as good as its predecessor? No. Not... In my opinion, no, it's not. Maybe someone will make a mod that will bring the sanity system back or limited amount of oil or something, but I'm probably not going to fully enjoy this game until someone makes a custom story for it. I mean, that sounds pretty heartless to the developers, but well, maybe just the mod. The story's fantastic. It's just there were so many times where I was like, okay, there's probably going to be a jump scare here or something, and there wasn't. There was that one subtle scary thing that was the pig mask, and that always kept showing up, and I didn't quite know what it meant. I thought that maybe it was like the pigs were going to show up or something, but it was never that. It was just this subtle thing. So maybe if they were more out of reach or something, then I would understand a bit more. But also the flickering of the light. That was like the light. That was probably the closest thing you would get to a limited energy or oil for your lantern. But overall, Amnesia Machine for Pigs, it's a good game. So you should pick it up. It's pretty awesome. I'm going to be waiting for custom stories. I'll probably record some more, or I'll record some more custom stories probably as they come out, if they come out. I don't even know. I'm going to finish Key to Freedom pretty soon here. Heck, I think Key to Freedom scared me more than this, but this is still pretty awesome. I love Amnesia Machine for Pigs, definitely going in my favorites. The Steam favorites, yep. So, let's see, are there any other updates or announcements or something I should say? Oh, I'm going to be getting a pretty awesome thing that plays stuff pretty soon here. Just wait till you see it. So I thank you guys for watching and staying with me on this adventure that I've been waiting 2 years for, and I bet you guys have too. Thanks for watching. I probably said that already. I'm going to go get some dinner, and then I'm going to get a good night's sleep tonight. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching! And how could one even forget the wonderful dialogue in this game?
The squire something, if you don't mind.
Well, actually, I do mind. That flung out of a burning building landed in a vegetable truck covered by molasses look simply won't do.